My brother-in-law racked up 50 million in gambling debts online, and he left my contact information. By the time it snowballed into 100 million with interest, threatening debt collectors were finally at my door. After I begged and pleaded with them to leave, my wife and mother-in-law came out of the room trembling. My wife's face was pale. Let's get a divorce. I'd rather walk away with nothing. You carry your own debt. Don't even think about dragging me down. No matter how many times I explained that it was her brother who owed the money, she refused to believe me. My mother-in-law even slapped me across the face. You're trying to slander my son, to get out of paying your debts by framing him. Get a divorce. Get one now. I'm not afraid to tell you the truth. Rulin is pregnant. It's your good buddies. Just give up. Drop the thought of staying married. It's not just 100 million. I have it. I was originally going to ask if you needed me to help in an emergency. How did this turn into a divorce confession scene? Since that's how it is, then you can pay off the massive debt your brother owes yourselves. I asked, my voice dry. You're pregnant with Su Xinyan's child? When did this happen? Zhang Rulin turned her head and said disdainfully, Qin Huaishu, so what if I am? Is it any of your business? Don't even think about trying to win me back. I don't want a useless husband like you who only knows how to get into debt and doesn't have the guts to face the consequences. I stood there stunned, unable to say a word. Zhang Fengwan saw that I was frozen in place and kicked me directly. Did you hear that? Divorce at the Civil Affairs Bureau tomorrow. After saying that, she turned and smiled slyly at Zhang Rulin. Lucky you took a birth control pill every time you got intimate with this loser. You took a birth control pill ahead of time every time. Otherwise, this loser would have used a child to hold you hostage and make you pay off debts. We originally wanted her to raise the child, but now it seems there's no need for that. I can hardly believe my ears. So you took a pill every time beforehand. We've been married for 3 years, and Zhang Rulin's stomach has never shown any signs of movement. Zhang Fengwan has said more than once in front of relatives and friends that I'm a useless good-for-nothing who can't produce a child. She even forced me to go to the hospital to get checked out. But everything was fine. It ultimately fizzled out, so she took birth control pills before every time. She even planned to make me the sucker who raises someone else's son. Zhang Rulin snorted coldly. Don't you think about how your family treated me? I really didn't like the betrothal gift thing from the start. I didn't like it from the start. Zhang Fengwan spat. Just that betrothal gift back then. Took forever to get it out after all that rambling. Just that pathetic amount. I didn't want my daughter to marry you back then. The wedding from 3 years ago flashed through my mind. It was originally agreed. The betrothal gift would be 999,000. For good luck. But on the day of the wedding, Zhang Fengwan wouldn't let Zhang Rulin get out of the car, and insisted on taking an extra million as a get-out-of-the-car fee. I thought it was too much at the time, but Zhang Rulin was crying in the wedding car, saying that her mom only has one daughter and it hasn't been easy. I gritted my teeth and gave it to her. Later, when we got to the front door, Zhang Fengwan said again, the greeting money can't be small. Another million needed. I didn't want to give it at the time. This was clearly a blatant shakedown. But in the end, my dad made the decision, saying that a wedding is a joyous occasion. Don't let these things cause unpleasantness. And gave the money. Luckily, my dad saw through their character and hid the fact that he had tens of billions in assets. Dad even arranged the wedding at the old house before we got rich. They only stopped when they got 3 million. Zhang Fengwan didn't give Zhang Rulin a single penny as a dowry. Said our family couldn't afford to match them. Later, I found out that the original 3 million, Zhang Fengwan gave it all to her younger brother, Zhang Haoqing, and he squandered it all away. My dad specifically reminded me to keep my wealth hidden. Said time would reveal people's true colors. Looks like he was absolutely right. I took a deep breath and pulled out my phone to call Zhang Haoqing. I'm okay with a divorce, but I'm not taking on Zhang Haoqing's debts. I'm gonna call him right now and make that clear. But I called him several times in a row, and Zhang Haoqing didn't answer. Zhang Rulin slapped my phone out of my hand and screamed, you know my brother's traveling abroad and can't answer the phone. That's why you dare to slander him. Zhang Fengwan kicked my phone far away. Your own debts. You expect us to pay them back? If you don't cover it, who will? Just then, the front door was kicked open with a bang. Su Xinyan stormed in, looking furious. Qin Huaishu, you're a complete animal. You owe 100 million. Zhang Rulin threw herself into his arms. Xinyan, he's even slandering that it was my brother who borrowed it. Su Xinyan kissed Zhang Rulin on the head. Why don't you just come live at my place? Otherwise, if the debt collectors come again, what if they scare you and my son? I was dumbfounded. Su Xinyan scoffed. What's the big deal? You think when you're away on business, where does Rulin go? She comes to my place. She slept in my bed, more times than she slept in yours. After calling me an animal, he took Zhang Rulin's hand. The 3 of them left my house without looking back. Left my house. My shock wasn't just about Jiang Rulin. I'm sorry. It was also about Su Sinian. Su Sinian and I were like brothers in college. A few years ago, he lost his job and asked me for money. I lent him 100,000 without a second thought. Later, when he really couldn't find a job, I recommended him to a company. He slowly worked his way up to senior management, with an annual salary of 5 million. But I didn't tell him that the company belonged to my dad. I never thought this ungrateful brother of mine would actually sleep with my wife. As I was recalling all this, I received a call from a subordinate. President Chin, please come back to the company, quickly. I didn't know what was going on, but I rushed back to the company anyway. I saw Jiang Rulin with Su Sinian and Zhang Fengwan. They were causing a scene in my company. Jiang Rulin was going through the procedures at the legal department. Starting today, I'm no longer a shareholder in this crappy company. I'm withdrawing from Shuesen Yen. She grabbed the stock withdrawal agreement. That's right, quickly withdraw the stock, and then get a divorce. Then the debt of 100 million won't have anything to do with us. Zhang Fengwan ran directly to my company's clients and shouted, the owner of this company is immoral. Don't choose this company, everyone. Hurry, leave, leave. The company's clients stood up one by one, packed their things, and walked out. Zhang Fengwan still thought it wasn't enough. She continued to shout at the employees' workstations. Everyone, watch out for your belongings. You scum. The boss owes 100 million. He'll take your valuables away at any moment, and run away without paying your wages. Seeing me walk in, the company's colleagues immediately put away their valuables. They're whispering to each other. Turns out the boss owes 100 million, and he doesn't even care about his wife. He's not really gonna run off with the money, is he? I never saw him as such a scumbag. Now his wife and mother-in-law are here causing a scene. Let's see what he can do. Even his former brothers are turning against him. It must be true then. Everyone might need to start looking for a new job. I rushed in. What gives you the right to spread rumors? Any losses to the company as a result of this, I can sue you for. Su Sinian put on a righteous front, shielding Jiang Rulin. You owe 100 million. That's a fact. The employees outside were gossiping even louder. All of them were in a frenzy. Right then, my mom walked in and asked in disbelief, how could that be, Huaishu? Didn't you just give me jewelry from the auction the other day? I just remembered. I was supposed to meet him for dinner after work today. Jiang Rulin chuckled. What auction? Your son took out a high-interest loan to buy that. Enjoy it now because you'll be crying later. It's a good thing the baby in my belly isn't from your family. Otherwise, it'd be just as unlucky. My mom was in shock. She grabbed her, who was walking out. What did you say? Jiang Rulin shook off her hand in disgust. Are you deaf? I said the baby inside me isn't yours. My mom already has high blood pressure. Jiang Rulin pushed her, and she stumbled backward. She clutched her heart and collapsed on the ground. I rushed forward to help my mom. What's wrong? Jiang Rulin urged. Poor trash. The old hag is just faking it, probably trying to put on an act and extort money from us. Let's go. This is bad luck. He finished speaking and hurriedly led Zhang Fengwan and Su Sinian out. Ma's face was pale. She couldn't say a word. She slowly passed out. I didn't care about anything else. I picked up my mom and ran to the hospital. In the emergency room, the doctor examined my mom. She has high blood pressure. Emotional agitation caused her blood pressure to spike. She has to be hospitalized for observation. I walked out of the ward. I called my dad, who was on a business trip abroad. Hello, Huaishu. My dad's voice came through. I told him what happened. There was silence on the other end of the phone for a few seconds. My dad said, I'll book a flight back immediately. I'll make them pay. Take good care of your mom. Leave everything else to me. My dad paused. I'll also handle Su Sinian and the Jiang family's affairs. I hung up the phone. I sat by the hospital bed. I canceled the authorization on Jiang Rulin's credit card. That credit card was for Jiang Rulin to use for groceries. I told her she could spend up to $10,000 each month. She only knew that I would help her pay it off each month. But she didn't know the card's actual credit limit was $100 million. My phone suddenly vibrated. It was several WeChat messages from Su Sinian. First were intimate photos of Su Sinian, her, and Jiang Rulin. There were also a few voice messages. Bro, I'm really sorry. You owe too much. I can't help you. But I suggest you can do Gagada to pay off your debts. Doing Gagada can also train that thing. Rulin says you're no good in bed. That's why she came to me. Instead of getting angry, I laughed. I wasn't too bad to you, was I? And this is how you repay me? Su Sinian laughed. I used to think you were really some rich kid. That's why I became your brother. If I had known you were this kind of dog who takes out high-interest loans to act rich, I wouldn't have given you the time of day. I ignored him. I immediately blocked her on WeChat. The next morning I went home, planning to pack a few things, and go back to the hospital to be with my mom. As soon as I opened the door, I saw Jiang Rulin. Zhang Fengwan and Su Xinian were standing in the living room again. Jiang Rulin came up and slapped me. You have the nerve to come back? Weren't we supposed to go to the Civil Affairs Bureau today? How dare you not show up? Zhang Fengwan also kicked me. I knew it. He just doesn't want to deal with us. We agreed to divorce. He wants us to pay off 100 million. I pushed them away. Through gritted teeth. My mom was injured and hospitalized because of you. And you're still worried about the divorce? Jiang Rulin sneered. It's your mom who's in trouble, not mine. Why should I care? Su Xinian threw a divorce agreement in my face. I've already written up the agreement. Just sign your name. Jiang Rulin found a pen and threw it at me. I've already talked to a lawyer. As long as I leave with nothing. And don't get a single penny. Naturally, I won't have to bear any of your debts. Sign it now. Don't delay Xinian's and my wedding. I found it amusing. I reached out and signed the agreement. To get out of debt. He's actually leaving with nothing. Then he definitely won't get his hands on my family's billions in assets. After saying that, Su Xinian came up to drag me away. To the Civil Affairs Bureau to get the divorce done. Nothing is more important. This is urgent. I shook off Su Xinian. My mom is having surgery today. I don't have time. Zhang Fengwan kicked me. Stop talking nonsense. Even if your mom kicks the bucket today. Even to sell salted duck eggs, I have to sign divorce papers first. They practically dragged me out the door. They hauled me all the way to the Civil Affairs Bureau. The whole way there, Zhang Fengwan kept running her mouth, loudly slandering me. Saying I owed 100 million. Everyone around was watching the spectacle. They say this guy's in debt to loan sharks. His wife's divorcing him over it. Heard he's trying to pin his debts on his brother-in-law. Trying to weasel out of paying? How low can you get? No wonder his wife and mother-in-law are like this. If I were them, I'd kick him to the curb too. The clerk adjusted his glasses and asked, have you agreed on the terms of the divorce agreement? Jiang Rulin nodded and handed over the agreement. We've agreed. I'm leaving with nothing. I have no objections. Let's just get the process over with. Walking out of the office, Jiang Rulin finally broke into a smile. I'm finally free. I love you. Su Xinian waiting for the divorce. Once the cooling-off period is over, we'll get married. She threw herself into Su Xinian's arms and kissed him in public. I'm so glad I met you and can start over. Otherwise, this loser would have ruined my life. Zhang Fengwan was even more outrageous. She shoved me. Get lost. My daughter's pregnant with Xinian's child now. She'll be living the high life and never have to look at your broke-ass face again. I couldn't be bothered with them and turned to leave. Su Xinian squeezed Jiang Rulin's waist, then made a call. The Tianhai Grand Hotel. Book a celebratory dinner for tonight at 7. I want the most expensive menu. And 2 bottles of 82 Lafite reserved for me. He deliberately raised his voice, so I could clearly hear every word. He hung up. Su Xinian said with a smile, Huaishu, we're going out to celebrate tonight. Want to join us? I took a deep breath, turned my head and said coldly, get lost. Jiang Rulin giggled and said, Xinian, don't tease the idiot. He owes 100 million right now. He wouldn't dare wander around outside. Someone might come looking for their money any minute, and he'll end up dead in the street. Zhang Fengwan spat and said, serves him right. That's karma. Just then, a group of people suddenly surged up behind us. The leader was a bald, burly man, followed by 7 or 8 heavily tattooed guys. The bald man took off his shirt and roared, it's only right to pay back debts. Jiang Rulin and Su Xinian were startled by the sudden outburst. Zhang Fengwan, seeing they were debt collectors, took out the divorce agreement and quickly said, he's already divorced from my daughter. Kill him or cut him up. It's up to you. It has nothing to do with us. The bald man was baffled. He gestured to his underlings to bring the person forward. Identify your family yourself, and tell us who they are. Jiang Haoqing was dragged in, his face bruised and battered. He howled like a stuck pig. Mom, sister, brother-in-law, save me. I owe them 100 million. If I don't pay it back today, they're going to take me away. Everyone present was stunned. Jiang Rulin stammered, Dad, what are you saying? Qin Huaishu is the one who owes money, not you. Zhang Fengwan rushed forward, trying to untie him. Jiang Haoqing pointed at me and shouted, you must have made a mistake. Grab him. He's the one. He grabbed Su Xinian and he grabbed my shirt. Are you even a man? To blame someone else for your own actions? You're actually slandering Haoqing. And you even had debt collectors come after him. Everyone around me started pointing fingers. You've got the wrong guy. He's the one who owes a mountain of debt. Otherwise, we wouldn't be at the point of divorce. The bald, burly man kicked Jiang Haoqing. Who owes me money? Do you think I can't tell the difference? You tell me yourself. Jiang Haoqing started wailing like a stuck pig again. Mom, sis, I owe 100 million. I talked to them. They promised me that as long as they got the money, they wouldn't give me any trouble. Before, my brother-in-law could give me a 3 million dowry to pay off my debts. He definitely still has money. Tell my brother-in-law to help me. As he said that, he broke free from the big guy and knelt down in front of me. I took out the divorce agreement I just signed and shook my head. Your sister and I are divorced now. I'm not your brother-in-law anymore. Jong Hao-chun was stunned for a moment. He looked at Jong Rulin and shouted, "What are you guys doing? He's such a good cash cow. You're just going to divorce him like that?" Jong Rulin came over and pulled him up. "Are you stupid? Why are you kneeling to a penniless loser? His mom is in the hospital, waiting for medical bills to save her life. Where is he going to get the money?" Zhang Fengwan also tugged at Zhang Rulin and whispered, "Go talk to Su Sinian. He's a senior executive at the company now. He definitely has 100 million. Just tell him you want 100 million for the bride price." Su Sinian heard them talking. His face changed. He stammered and couldn't say a word. "Based on what I know about him, Su Sinian is a big spender. Don't even talk about getting 100 million out of him. Even getting 1 million would be tough for him." Zhang Fengwan got anxious. Her eyes widened as she questioned Su Sinian. "You're not going to tell me you can't come up with 100 million, are you? You said you were worth hundreds of millions before. Now you're going to dump my daughter after scamming her. You're not going to own up to it, right?" I let out a cold laugh. He probably won't be holding on to that executive position in his company for long. Zhang Rulin's face was full of anger. "Who do you think you are? Nobody needs your input here." Cursing my Sinian. Su Sinian, trying to steer the conversation away from Zhang Fengwan, raised his hand as if to hit me. What nonsense are you spouting? My position is very stable. I'm even up for a promotion." The bald, burly man kicked Zhang Haochen again. "I don't have time to watch you act. If there's no money, we're taking him away." Zhang Haocheng screamed in agony. "Su Sinian, if you want to marry my sister, you need to cough up 100 million in betrothal money first. Otherwise, I'm the first to object to this marriage." Zhang Fengwan said through her tears, There's money. Don't hit my son." "Rulin, quickly get your money out." Zhang Rulin immediately pulled out the credit card I gave her. She handed it to the bald, burly man. "This is the card I use for grocery shopping. See how much money you can get out of it. Use it as a temporary fix. Don't hit my brother." One of the bald, burly man's underlings swiped the card. The machine beeped twice. "Boss, this card does have a credit limit of 100 million. But it's been locked." The bald, burly man threw the card back. "Don't think we're stupid. This card has money on it, but you can look, don't touch." Zhang Fengwan was stunned. She grabbed Zhang Rulin. 100 million? Where did this credit card come from? Zhang Rulin stood there, dumbfounded. "Huaishu gave me this card. Isn't there a $10,000 monthly limit? How could there be this much money on it?" Rulin just stared at me, dumbfounded. Her eyes were complicated. "Why do you have so much money?" Fengwan quickly grabbed Sinian, her good son-in-law. "He used to be like a brother to you. He probably stole your money somehow. You were stammering earlier. Were you trying to cover for him? We need to get the money back now." The people around us agreed, saying, "That's right, that must be what happened. Call the cops and arrest him." Sinian looked enviously at the credit card. Then he glared at me. I don't know what he's thinking. Fengwan came over and started hitting and scolding me. "You've been stealing money for 4 years. Unlock the card right now. If anything happens to Hao Chun, I'll kill you." Pushed her away. "That's my family's money. It has nothing to do with you." The bald, muscular guy finally lost his patience. He punched Hao Chun in the head. "All this back and forth for so long, and your family still doesn't have any money." Hao Chun immediately got a bump on his forehead. "My mom has an apartment. That can cover it for now." Fengwan was shocked. "What are you talking about? That's my retirement home." The bald guy looked at me. "Mr. Chin, since you're divorced, you can leave now." He pointed at Fengwan. "Rulin, Sinian, and everyone else. Mom, sis, and the boyfriend stay put." Sinian panicked and quickly said, "I have nothing to do with them. I was just passing by. I don't know them." Zhang Rulin was dumbfounded. She shook Su Sinian's hand. "What are you talking about? Weren't we planning on getting married and having kids?" Su Sinian slapped Zhang Rulin across the face. "Your old man owes so much money. You still want to marry me? You're trying to screw me over." Zhang Fengwan rushed over and started wrestling with Su Sinian. "Humph, humph, humph. You son of a bitch. You tricked my daughter and now you're trying to run? You dare lay a hand on my daughter?" Clearly, Zhang Fengwan was no match for Su Sinian. It didn't take long before she was screaming bloody murder. Just as I was about to leave, Zhang Rulin suddenly knelt down in front of me. "Huaishu, I beg you, please save my brother. I know you definitely have a way." She was crying her eyes out. "I know I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. It hasn't been 30 days yet. The divorce cooling off period. I can back out of the divorce." I looked at her expressionlessly. "Madam, you cheated on me during our marriage. Even if you want to back out, I can still sue for divorce." Just then, a roar of engines came from the road. A fleet of luxury cars drove up. All black Maybachs with consecutive license plate numbers. The motorcade stopped. A dozen bodyguards in black suits got out. They lined up in 2 neat rows. They all bowed to me in unison and shouted, "Young Master Qin, the chairman has come to take you home." Everyone around was dumbfounded. Good heavens, this is quite a show. I recognized them. Those are the cars of Shengtian Group. Shengtian Group, the one with a market value of tens of billions? Who is this young Master Qin they're talking about? Could it be Qin Huaishu? Zhang Fengwan even widened her eyes and stammered something. Young Master Qin? What chairman? Zhang Rulin was kneeling on the ground, also stunned, staring blankly at me. So, your family's got this kind of pull, and you've been playing poor with us for so long. The back door of that car opened. My dad got out. He was wearing a sharp, understated luxury suit. His eyes were piercing. Dad looked at Su Xinian and said coldly, "Su Xinian, you're fired. The finance department has already found out about your embezzlement. We'll be suing you immediately." Su Xinian looked at me, then at my dad, his face pale. "President Qin, you're his father?" Dad waved his hand. 2 bodyguards stepped forward and restrained Su Xinian. Su Xinian struggled, shouting no. "President Qin, I know I was wrong. Huaishu put in a good word for me. We're brothers." I looked at him expressionlessly. "We used to be. But not anymore." Dad then looked at the bald, burly Zhang Haoqing. "The money owed to you. You can pursue the debt however you see fit. But this is a public place. Don't make too big of a scene." The bald, burly man said with a smile. "President Qin, rest assured. We're a legitimate company. We have the IOU. We have the contract." "Good." Dad nodded. He turned to look at me. "Your mom's getting ready for surgery. We're going back to the hospital." Dad signaled the bodyguards to pull Zhang Rulin, who was kneeling on the ground, away. Zhang Rulin was pulled up by the bodyguards. She cried, "Husband, husband, listen to me. Su Xinian seduced me. I still love you." I followed Dad out. Zhang Rulin chased after us. "Husband, don't abandon me and Haochen." Zhang Fengwan ran up too. "Huaishu, we're all family. Can't we talk this over? Hao Cheng's debts. Help him pay them off first. We'll borrow from you. We'll definitely pay you back later." I stopped walking. I looked back at them. "Zhang Rulin, we're already divorced." My voice was very calm. "And the child in your belly has nothing to do with me." Having said that, I got in the car. The convoy slowly drove away. Through the car window, I saw Zhang Rulin slumped on the ground. Zhang Fengwan was still chasing after the convoy. Dad handed me a bottle of water. "Don't worry. I'll make them pay 10 times over, Dad." "What are you planning to do?" "I already have the evidence of Su Xinian embezzling public funds. I've got it all. It's a considerable amount. Enough for him to spend a few years in jail. As for the Zhang family, I've already arranged to sue them, to get back what they took. I'll add fuel to the fire regarding Zhang Haoqing's debts." I nodded. I returned to the hospital. Mom had already completed the surgery. She smiled when she saw us return. "I've taken care of our son's affairs." Dad held Mom's hand. "You rest well. Leave the rest to me." That night, I received 4 or 5 messages from Zhang Rulin. I opened those messages. "Honey, Su Xinian seduced me. I still love you in my heart. Just forgive me this once. You're also at fault for pretending to be poor, aren't you? If I had known your family's true wealth, I would never have done this. I'm getting rid of the baby right now, and starting over with you. But I want 100 million yuan as a betrothal gift. Your family should be able to afford that. What does it mean that you're not replying to my messages? Don't push your luck too far. When have you ever seen me beg you?" Looking at these messages, I feel disgusted. I immediately blacklisted his phone number. 3 days later, my mom recovered and was discharged from the hospital. I drove to the bottom of the hospital, ready to pick up my mom to go home. Just as I parked the car, Su Xinian suddenly rushed out from the side and grabbed Huaishu. He looked haggard, with a scruffy beard. "Huaishu, we've been brothers for so many years. Can't you just forgive me this once? Just help me out this one time." I frowned. "Get lost, get out of here. Who's brothers with you?" I was blind. Su Xinian knelt down. "I know I'm sorry to you, but now your dad not only fired me, but also wants to sue me for embezzlement. Huaishu, I really know I was wrong. Tell your dad to drop the lawsuit. Let me go. I'll agree to whatever you say after this one time." People passing by stopped to watch. "Isn't that the ex-executive from Shengtian Group who got fired for cheating?" "That's right. It's him, he's disgusting. He still dares to kneel and beg him. Qin should get what he deserves. If you do something wrong, you have to pay the price." I sneered. "When you and Zhang Rulin were having an affair, why didn't you think about the consequences? These are all consequences of your own actions." Su Xinian suddenly became agitated. "That wasn't my fault. Zhang Rulin seduced me. She said you couldn't perform. She said you couldn't satisfy her in bed. He took the initiative to find me. I turned to leave. He grabbed me tightly. "Huaishu, You can't do this to me. Su Sinian started crying. I still have an elderly mother to support. If I go to jail, what will happen to my mom? My voice was cold. I'll say it one more time. This has nothing to do with me. Let go or not. I won't let go. It's all Jiang Rulin's fault. That slut seduced me into doing something wrong. Just then, a scream came from behind me. Su Sinian, what are you talking about? Jiang Rulin is here too. She's wearing loose clothes, and her face is pale. She's a little unsteady on her feet. She rushed over and slapped Su Sinian in the face. You were the one who seduced me in the first place. You even made me take birth control pills in advance. Now I've had the abortion, and I want to start over with Huaishu. If it weren't for you, I'd be the young mistress of Shang Tian Group right now, with tens of billions in assets. He weakly clutched his stomach. It looks like he just had an abortion. I felt disgusted. I took 2 steps back. We're over. I never said I wanted to start over with you. Jiang Rulin slapped Su Sinian in the face again. It's all your fault. You've caused such a big conflict between my husband and me now. Su Sinian was hurt. He slapped Jiang Rulin back. That was my child. Why did you hit my child? Jiang Rulin lunged at him like a madwoman, slapping him repeatedly. You want to marry me? Then come up with 100 million dowry. If you can't, I'll just abort the baby. The two of them instantly started fighting. More and more people gathered around. These 2 cheating dogs are going at it. Everyone, come watch the show. Holy crap, this woman is a real piece of work too. She's obsessed with money, demanding $1 million dowry for a second marriage. Is her lady part encrusted with diamonds or something? Su Sinian's eyes turned red. He was gripping Jiang Rulin's neck tightly. I'm already caught up in lawsuits myself. Where am I going to get $1 million? Don't push me too far. It's all your fault for making me lose my good brother. If you hadn't been wearing those stockings and seducing me that night, I wouldn't have made a mistake and gotten involved with you. Seeing that things were getting out of hand, I took a couple of steps back and decided to call the cops. At this point, Jiang Rulin was being choked and couldn't breathe. She struggled desperately. Zhang Fengwan rushed out of nowhere, grabbing a brick and smashing it down on Su Sinian. Let her go. Do you want to kill someone in public? It's clearly because you dog of a man, caused me to lose a good son-in-law. You dare hit my daughter? She cursed as she hit him. My daughter is cutting ties with you right now. She's getting back together with Huaishu. Everyone's eyes turned to me. I turned to leave. Your affairs have nothing to do with me. Excuse me. Su Sinian tried to grab me, but Zhang Fengwan held on to him tightly. He punched Zhang Fengwan a few times. When Jiang Rulin saw her mom getting hit, she bit down on Su Sinian's arm. A man is bullying a woman in public. Someone call the police. The 3 of them were entangled together. The scene was complete chaos. More and more onlookers gathered. Someone had already pulled out their phone to call the police. I saw in the chaos, Su Xining punched Jiang Rulin hard in the stomach a few times. Jiang Rulin screamed and fell to the ground, clutching her stomach. His eyes were bloodshot. He seemed to have lost his mind. He didn't say a word. He landed several more heavy blows. Rulin and Zhang Fengwan started screaming. Blood was flowing from under Jiang Rulin's skirt. More and more. Everyone around was stunned. Call an ambulance. Quick. There's blood everywhere. Someone's dead. The cops are on their way. Just then, my dad came out of the hospital. Huaishu, are you alright? I shook my head. I'm fine. Dad breathed a sigh of relief. Good thing you're okay. I don't care about anyone else. He quickly took control of the situation. He had the bodyguards restrain Su Sinian. The ambulance arrived quickly. The paramedics put Jiang Rulin on a stretcher. But Jiang Rulin wasn't breathing anymore. The paramedics tried to resuscitate her. They shook their heads. The wound from the abortion tore open. Massive blood loss couldn't be stopped. No vital signs. Zhang Fengwan rushed over like a madwoman. Rulin, wake up. The cops arrived too. They took Su Sinian away. Su Sinian was still staring at the blood all over his hands. It wasn't me, I didn't kill him. He ran into it himself. After Su Sinian was taken away, the scene was cordoned off. I stood at the hospital entrance, watching the ambulance take Jiang Rulin's body away. I couldn't describe what I was feeling. Zhang Fengwan collapsed on the ground, wailing. My daughter. Dad came over and patted me on the shoulder. Let's go. The cops will handle it. I followed Dad back to the hospital room. Mom had already packed her things and was ready to leave. What's wrong? Why is it so noisy outside? Mom asked. Dad. He shook his head. It's nothing. Let's go home. On the way home, Dad told me. Su Sinian accidentally killed Jiang Rulin. He won't be able to escape this time. Embezzlement plus manslaughter is at least several decades. I nodded, without saying a word. As for Zhang Haoqing, Dad paused. I found out he owes more than just 100 million. There are other debts, adding up to almost 20 million. He won't be able to pay it off in this lifetime. When I got home, I could finally rest. Too much has happened these past few days. I feel like I've been completely hollowed out. At night, I lay in bed and took out my phone. Jiang Rulin's WeChat is still in my contacts. Even though I've blocked her, I opened her moments. The last one was posted 3 days ago, a new beginning. Looking forward to a better future. The picture was a photo of her and Su Sinian. Both of them were smiling happily. I turned off my phone and closed my eyes. The next morning, I was woken up by a phone call. It was the police officer, asking me to come in for a statement. When I got to the police station, I described the events in detail. The police officer told me, Su Sinian has been taken into criminal custody, awaiting trial by the court, based on the evidence currently available. If Su Sinian is found guilty of manslaughter and embezzlement, he will be sentenced to at least 30 years. The police officer said. I nodded. Coming out of the police station, I received a text message from an unknown number. Qin Huaishu. This is Zhang Haoqing. I know my sister is dead. Can you help me? I'm really at my wit's end. I looked at this text message and let out a cold laugh. When you asked me to help you back then, leaving my contact information when you were in debt, didn't you ever think there would be a day like this? I blocked that number right away. In the following days, I stayed home with Mom, letting her rest. Mom was already doing much better. Her spirits had also recovered. Dad came home for dinner every day and chatted with Mom. One day after dinner, Huaishu, Dad stopped me. There's news about Zhang Haoqing. What happened? After he was taken to Myanmar by the debt collectors, he disappeared without a trace. Things probably didn't end well for him. I was silent for a moment. What about Zhang Fengwan? Dad said she's gone crazy. Her daughter's dead. Her son's missing. She couldn't take the blow. She had a mental breakdown. Now she's picking through trash at the dump outside the city, looking for food, talking nonsense all day long. I hummed in response, without any emotion in my heart. Someone saw her mumbling about me, having both a son and a daughter, and being set to enjoy a comfortable life in old age. Dad shook his head. I nodded. These things are all karmic retribution. President Qin's assistant knocked and came in. News about Zhang Haoqing. Confirmed he was found dead in a casino in Myanmar. I turned around. How did he die? Owed too much money. Beaten to death. The assistant paused. The body was only discovered the day before yesterday. It was already decomposed. I nodded. I understand. A month later, Su Sinian's case went to trial. I appeared in court as a witness. In court, Su Sinian was a shadow of his former self. His eyes were empty, completely lacking his former vigor. The judge announced that Su Sinian was guilty of manslaughter and embezzlement. Multiple charges combined. Sentenced to 30 years in prison. Hearing the verdict, Su Sinian collapsed in the defendant's seat. Walking out of the courthouse, the sunlight was blinding. I raised my hand to shield my eyes as my dad walked over. It's over, huh? It's over. 3 months later, I officially took over my dad's company and started learning management. My dad said he was getting old. It was time for me to take over. At night, I stood in front of the company's floor-to-ceiling windows with a glass of red wine, overlooking the city. If they hadn't thought I was the one who owed a huge debt, and I was still in the dark, fate would have played a cruel joke on me. But in the end, it was a close call. I smiled and finished my glass of red wine in one gulp.